Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Fuzzy from Fuzzy Ghost Smiles here with the first installment of the actual build of the Dragon or Cyber Hobby bf109E-4. I'm just building this one as an E4, not a B. I'm not going to put a bomb on it. So just going to let you know where I am with this. I am adding a few little extra details to this. The kit itself is absolutely fantastic. It is typical Dragon. I've built a lot of Dragon armor in the past, and I love the plastic is really good, and the fit and engineering is usually really good, and this is no exception for this kit. It's a little hard to find nowadays. I think they're out of production, but if you get your hands on one of these and you want to do a 32nd scale BF109, so far this is highly recommended. So one of the things I've decided to add is this Quinta Modeling Studios or Quinta Studio Modeling, whatever it is, the 3D printed instrument panels, which are absolutely gorgeous, and it's sort of like cheating a little bit, maybe, but sort of what the pre-printed photo etch was back 10 years ago. But there's no way that with my old eyes and my caffeine level in my hands that I'm going to be able to come anywhere close to the detail that the 3D printer can put in the detail in the cockpit. So that's one of the things I'm going to use. I'm also going to use this HDW rivet set for it. So the one major, not a flaw, but one thing's sort of missing from the kit is all the rivet detail. It's got beautiful panel lines, which might be okay for 48 scale, but 32nd scale, you kind of want to see those rivets. At least I do anyway. So I'm going to be trying out this rivet set. Scale Model Canuck used a rivet set on his Focke-Wulf 190, I believe. So I'm going to pick his brain when it comes down to time to use these, because he did a fantastic job on that. You should go check his Instagram account out, because it's fantastic and he's a great modeler. So I'll get some great ideas from him. And then the other thing is, of course, I have to change the markings because it's not a B. And I've got these Tech Mod decals, and I'm probably going to do Helmet Vix aircraft, not the plain one, but the little bit later one with the yellow nose. Just looks a little more funky. And I'm going to have it's been a long time since I built a German aircraft, and getting all this modeling right is going to be fun. So a new challenge, which is always good. All right. So let me flip the camera around and we'll take a look at where I'm at with this and where I'm going to head on the next one. Okay, hang on. All right, so here we are with some of the parts that I've started on, and that's basically the cockpit, where most aircraft are started. I've got base paint on the inside, and not all the details on it. It needs a wash, and it needs to be a little bit weathered and some extra tone added to it. But those are the insides of the cockpit tub. I put some of this sub-assembly stuff together, which, you know, the detail is absolutely incredible. I'm gonna show you a few things that kind of made me scratch my head. And there's the front. I'll put all these together because the fit is so good that I can kind of snap them together and they'll hold pretty good. But that's the front in front of the cockpit. This is the cockpit cowling, or the instrument panel cowling, and then the machine guns go in the front here. And of course, got some of the ammunition feeds to go, cockpit bulkheads, fuel tank, and some of the other little greeblies and all that. So one thing that perplexed me, and I'll pull the instructions out because it isn't very clear, and it's these parts right here, F44 and F43. So it says to go in here, so it's just floor extensions, but the drawing is not very good, and it doesn't give you much in the way of locating where that goes. So it's kind of, I went and looked at Will Pattison's video, and he kind of gave me some idea on where those are supposed to go. So I'll show you where I put them, and they seem to fit pretty good. So it's picked up this part here. So this is the front bulkhead, and you can see they're just on the side here and here. So what that does, so it's just a floor extension, and what it does is when the fuselage side is mated up to it, it finishes it off. Otherwise, if those weren't on there, it leaves a great big gap. So I'm going to show you how well this goes together. Now I've glued this together. Oh, and one other thing, one other recommendation. So these seat rails are separate. I've glued them on, and then the seat mount, which is this here, and I'm going to put this on right now so you guys can see. I would make sure that while it's still, the glue is still pliable, that you set this up properly. Otherwise, it might not fit. But see how that fits in. Got to do, again, got to do some a little bit of weathering and some modulation on the color. But and that fits in there. And the fuel tank, this kind of snaps in there, and it's got some really nice locating pins like that. And I can take the rear bulkhead, the cockpit, and that just fits in like that. Like, it's beautiful. And you get some really good fit that just kind of slides in and snaps in like that. Also, just to be aware, when I glued these to the cockpit floor, I made sure I attached the two fuselage sides so I would get a nice fit along the fuselage inner, because it fits into this little groove in here, right? So we don't want to have a gap there. Oh, and look at this, it fits so nicely. This fits in. I forgot to put this in. I've had shaved some of this detail off, and I'm going to show you the Quinta modeling studios, or Quinta Studios modeling stuff in a minute. The rudder pedals, so just show you how nicely this fits. So I'm going to just quickly slide this together like this. Alright, and look how nicely that fits. That's really super fantastic. And the seat will just slide in there. It's beautiful. That fits in like that. Look at that fit. Hey, Kinetic. Maybe you can design something that fits a little better, because Dragon knows what they're doing. And the ammunition bin goes on the front of that, just like that. Like, it's just awesome, just awesome. And of course, that's just gonna fall off. So I'm just gonna pop this on the bottom, and you can see how well that fits. Like, look at that. That is pretty fantastic. Right. The seat fell out, but that's okay, it's not glued. So one other thing I did, because if you know anything about 109s, and I know very little about 109s, is that the panel lines are not only horizontal like that, or sorry, vertical like this, but there's also one that runs right down the spine at the top and one at the bottom. So what I did, because when you go to glue this, it's going to fill right in. What I did is took a sanding stick and just chamfered the edge at a 45 degree on both the parts, and on the bottom as well, just so it gives a little bit more of a gap that's in line with what you have on the side, so I don't have to rescribe it, because rescribing is not my forte. Anyway, the last thing here is this beautiful 3D set from Quinta for the instrument panel. Now you can just see the detail on that, and I have no chance of being able to paint that. I could have taken the kit instrument panel, which is really good, and used instrument dial decals, but then the placards and that's another option. But this took all of 15 minutes. This isn't all of it. There's some levers and pull handles and that still need to go on this part. So these are just, they make life so easy, and it makes everything look so good. So anyway, that's where I'm at right now. I do have to add, like I said, some weathering, some fading, just a little bit. While the machines were well taken care of, they were also well used. So it needs some more work on the paint job. But this is the base color, and the next installment we'll have this all painted up, and I'll show exactly what I'm doing. And yeah, so if you liked the video, please hit like. If you didn't, please hit dislike. Subscribe to the channel, it sure would help us out, and hit the notification bell as well, because you don't want to miss another installment of this. This is such a nice kit, and everybody raves about it. So this is Fuzzy from Fuzzy Ghost Models. We're signing off, and please join me for the next one. All right, thanks everyone. Bye.